go. Recording January 31st, 5 a.m. This is your unfriendly neighborhood Batman, aka Vampire, aka Journey, aka Kevin, aka Nighthawk. Here we are, 5 in the morning, and we're running the motor here. As you can see, over here we're running 12.26 volts on the power rail. We're looking over here at the ammeter, which is reading roughly around 90 milliamps. So we're looking at somewhere, as I would guess, around 1 to 2 watts of power. The motor seems to be running quite quickly. I'm going to try and do an RPM reading here, if we can just kind of do a little dipsy doodle here. Okay, now we're on this side of the machine. We got the little doodad here. That's the RPM meter. We poke our nose right in through here. And I'm going to have to use my other hand here to switch hands. Get the light shining on the meter. And there we go. And we got about just over 3,100 RPMs, according to that gadget. So, and you can see all the helper magnets here. We've got helper magnets on number 1. Number 5, for some reason, doesn't like a helper magnet. Number 2, number 6, number 3, and number 4 all have helper magnets. Number 1 here, we're using slightly larger magnets than on all the rest of them, and as you can also see on number 6, we've got a larger stack. Actually, that stack is the same as what's in the pipes here. On number 3, it's a shorter stack, which is where as you can also see, that's where the hall sensor, the hall probe is. And as Doug Conason has suggested, that the proximity of the hall sensor to a helper magnet actually affects what goes on. As you can see, if I give this a little tweak back this way, it slows down, current goes down, voltage goes up, motor rotation comes down, mover back over. Oh, and I guess we've really screwed that up, haven't we? Well, maybe not. We'll get her back in the middle there. So as Doug has also mentioned, that the angle position of helper magnets is actually quite critical. I'm kind of mad that I moved that now. Anyways, you can see the thing is pretty touchy. So, down here we've got the circuit board right here. This section over here is completely isolated from here. The generator section over here, or the reception of the generator. This is the generator right here, which is also isolated from the rest. It's just kind of sitting in the middle there, and then the wires jump over to here. Let's see. I don't think we got back up to speed, but we're back down to about roughly 90 milliamps, and again about 12.2 volts across the power rail. Here's the microwave capacitor that's being used on the back EMF recovery circuit, and you can see the steering diode right in there, that little diode there. Let's see what else we got. Right there, there's a voltage regulator for the power supply for the hall sensor, which I'm using that now to isolate the hall sensor from the main power supply, which runs coils to avoid blowing them up from voltage spikes. There's the little fan that I was talking about. That's not running right now because there's not enough juice to go run it. There's the LEDs. There's 5 of them, super brights. Yeah, so we're getting up to 24 minutes here. This is kind of getting long, so I think I'm going to do one more quick demonstration here. Here's the wire coming off the recovery coil, recovery cap. We're going to plug that into the main power rail. We can already hear an increase in voltage, or RPMs. Voltage has come down quite considerably, 2 volts roughly. Our current has gone over limit, so I'm going to switch it over into the higher range. We're up into about well over 300 milliamps. We're still picking up speed here. My guess is we're going to get up to about just over 4,100 RPMs. Voltage coming back up. Current coming back down. She'll probably settle out around maybe 200 if we're probably not. This one's going to settle out around 33 maybe, or 35. Sorry, 350. The little fan is running, as you can see. Getting enough voltage going on there. So we're going to switch the voltmeter across to the switch the voltmeter over to the generator section here. You can see that going over there. Okay. Now we've got 15.6 volts coming off the generator with the load, which is 5 super bright LEDs plus a 12 volt heatsink fan for a video card or something or other. And the currents come down, like I said, actually settled a little lower than 330 milliamps. Looking like it's going to settle around there. And we're going to turn the scope on here and just see what kind of a waveform we're getting with the recovery cap tied directly into the generator power rail here. Okay, if you can see that, looks like we got 47.5 volts peak to peak AC, 800 and let's see if we can stable that out a bit. I don't know, somewhere in the 800 to 900 megahertz range, or hertz range, sorry. And as you can see, square waves are, or the waveform is quite square. You can notice that the on times are variable. Off times, they're pretty close to each other. But the on time is shorter than the off time. Not sure why that is. Probably something to do with the way the magnet and the hall sensor are positioned. Now, if we take we're going to disconnect the recovery cap here, and you're going to see how the waveform changes here. We're getting a little bit of ringing after that peak. See that there? You can also see that the generator voltage has come way down. The amperage has come way down for the pull on the power supply. We bring that down to better scale. We're back down to our 90 again. And probably I should have taken a meter reading at the high speed. I'm pretty sure it was definitely over 4 grand. Anyways, I think that's it for now. We did some printing tonight to print up a few labels. I might just show you them real quick for making these rotors. The way I made the 12 meg rotor. Sorry about the wishy-washy camera work here. Here we got, if you can see that, let me get my glasses on here. Yeah, so this is what we printed up on Stamper, on CD Stomper or Avery CD Stomper type labels to apply to the CD discs, so that I can cut these slots for the magnets so that they friction fit into the rotor, so that they're much easier to glue into place, so you don't have to sit there for half an hour and hold them in place. There is the rotor, the way it was made. They're embedded, cut into the rotor, as opposed to this sort of thing here, if you can bear with me. That sort of thing there, where they're glued on top of the disc. Instead of doing that for safety reasons, it was done this way to embed them into a thicker disc, so there's more weight to spin up, which doesn't seem to, machine doesn't seem to really care how much weight it's turning. That rotor weighs over 100 grams, I believe. I know I wrote it down somewhere and weighed them all out. But yeah, anyways, I think that should be it for now. I'm gonna do a selfie. It's me! And that's all she wrote for today.